Welcome to another episode of Ielts. And you might be wondering why we're not in the regular setting. Well, we are in the studio, but I need to get out of this box. And if you haven't already guessed, the topic today is out of the box. It's on creativity and living life differently. And I really have a special guest today, and we are at a different section of the studio because we also want to live out of the box, and we want to think out of the box, and we're doing the show in a different way. This is our guest. She's an example of living out of the box and being creative and learning constantly. So we're going to talk to her. Let's go. As you can see, we no longer have the regular chairs and tables that we normally do. Right now, we're sitting on top of a mat. In Vietnamese, it's called chiếu. And we're going to talk today in a very unconventional style. It's in a very Vietnamese style because we have a special guest today. We have Margot, who's here in the studio with us.
Hello.
And Margot traveled here all the way from the UK. And the reason why we have her here is because she is continuously learning. And she's always trying out new things, and she's going to have some really good stories to share with us. All right, before that, I'm going to invite you to drink a cup of tea.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm going to pour you a cup of Vietnamese tea.
That's good.
So in Vietnam, we always love to have our tea sets in small, little, tiny cups like this.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. In Vietnam, we always pour tea to invite people into our house.
Yes.
And whenever we make new friends, tea is also, we call it trà tâm giao, meaning
yes.
With tea we can speak from the heart.
I see.
All right.
It's a good custom.
Cheers.
Cheers.
How does that taste?
Strong.
Very strong, huh? A little bit bitter, but after the bitterness, you can taste the sweetness.
Yes, it's different.
It's very different from English tea. Tell us a little bit about why you came to Vietnam this time.
I came to Vietnam because I was curious about Asian countries, and I had talked with Asian people at a course that I went on in Denmark. I met a lot of interesting people from Vietnam and other Asian places. And I wanted to see if Asia was so very different from Europe. Mm-hmm. And my particular friend that I came to see as well.
And I know who that particular friend is. Yes, he's the producer of this show.
That's it, yes.
And that's how we got you to be on the show. So thank you for coming. And I do know that you're a big learner.
I am.
You learn every day, and you used to teach people
yes.
as well. So how is it different now compared to you when you were 20 years old?
It's different because I'm not working towards a particular goal now, but I'm having fulfillment in finding out different things. When I was 20 years old, I was busy having a family.
Yeah.
We had family problems when I was a teenager, and it meant that my education was stopped. I had to leave school and work for my living. So it wasn't until I was married and in my 20s that I thought it's time to finish my education that wasn't finished before. And that's when I looked around at possibilities, did sufficient examinations then that I hadn't done at school in order to get into a college for teachers. Mm-hmm. And that's what I did in my 20s. And I was able to do that and bring up the family at the same time, thanks to some help from my husband.
So why do you still continue to learn and explore new things?
Because I think it's never a time to say that's enough, you've learnt enough, because there's always something new. Quite often you might hear an interesting program on the television and think, well, I didn't know anything about that. How do I find out? Mm-hmm. You have time for hobbies when you're older and you haven't got a family at home anymore. Mm-hmm. You have time to develop your hobbies and learn more about the things that you like to do.
Mm-hmm. And how young are you this year?
I'm 77 at the moment.
You're
I should be 78 in the autumn.
Oh, you're 77 at the moment,
Yes.
and you started learning because during the later years
Because I had more time, and there were things that I thought that I hadn't developed within myself. I still had more potential.
I know that at IPC you did this very interesting course.
Yes.
And you jumped right into a group of youngsters.
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
It was brilliant.
Yeah? Was it difficult for you to mingle with all of these young people?
Not really, no, because we were all new to the subject and all discussing things in our lecture time. I didn't feel awkward, and the young people made me feel just as if I was one of them.
That's great. So now that you're out of IPC and you're probably going back in the summer,
Yes.
I heard that your schedule is packed nowadays. What does your schedule look like on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, what do? I have different things that I do each day. For instance, on Tuesdays, I take a disabled friend along to an art group, and I've been teaching her how to do painting because she's lost the use of her right arm. So she's had to learn everything from scratch with her left hand.
Yeah.
So I've gone through the stages of her building up from colouring and drawing and painting, and she's getting on well, and she loves to go to that class.
Yeah.
And I go to the rock choir class as well on
The
Tuesdays.
rock choir class.
Rock choir,
So
yes.
you sing rock music in
Yes.
the choir. Wow, wow. And then what else do you do?
Well, I have been doing Spanish on Wednesdays, but it's finished for the year at the moment. I don't know whether I'll go back to it. I just wanted to learn basic Spanish, mainly so that I could read messages that I have on Facebook from some of my South American friends from IPC.
Yeah.
Some of them are posting in Spanish, so it's nice to be able to read what they're saying.
You know, I love that, you know, your source of learning, yes, you learn for yourself, but it's also because you want to communicate better, you want to
That's
understand
right.
better
Yes.
your people around you. I think that's very, very lovely. So I do know that at IPC, you guys make rain together.
We do.
Yeah. Do you mind showing us a little bit of how we do that?
I think we could do that.
All right. And then later on, we can ask the
Yes.
crew to come up and perform something. All right. So
Right.
okay. So how do we make rain?
We make rain in several ways.
Okay.
We can start a rainy day by making a simple noise with our hands.
Yeah.
We can go on to some clicking,
So that's the leaves rustling, and then we
Yes.
get a little bit of the trickle,
little bit of
some
trickling
drops
of rain.
hitting our rooftop.
Yes, maybe we can have a few. And as the rain is getting harder, we can come in with slapping noises.
Okay, this is the rain beating against the leaves.
Yes.
We hear the leaves rustle some more. The thunderstorm's coming.
And when it's really at the height of the storm, we want some banging going on. Standing, we could do that with our feet if we have some heavy shoes on, otherwise better with hands.
Yeah, and we have the crowd, and then it trickles less.
And then as the rain ceases or slows down, then we go reverse the movements, yes. We go to the clicking and then the...
Now the leaves rustle back again.
Yes.
And then we have the drops. Couple of remaining
A
drops.
couple of little splashes here and
Splashing on the sidewalk, splashing on the rooftop. I wonder what it'll be like to have the whole big group, the big crew,
Yes.
do all this together. I think it's going to sound really good.
there. It sounds better with a lot of people, yes.
Yeah. So, should we have the crew come up and try to perform
try.
something together?
Yes, let's
All right,
try
let's
that.
do that. All right, that was a lot of rain. We did make it rain with all of our hands and our legs and our feet. But of course, the rain will need to go because we're going to go back into the house and we are going to enter back into a Vietnamese household. Let's see what the Vietnamese household offers.
Next on Tama House, Margaret will have her first time ever experience the dinner in authentic Vietnamese style. Let's see how much she enjoyed this out-of-the-box experiment. And also, with the IELTS Marathon Challenge, you will have the chance to witness an English native speaker with the first time ever IELTS challenge of her life. Hey, it's all coming up for you right now.
Okay, we're now back to the Vietnamese household and we're going to have a little dinner. It's a traditional Vietnamese dinner. Shall we have the hot dinner traditional style? Thank you. Ooh.
My goodness.
Okay, I got it. There we go.
That's a feast.
It does look like a feast, doesn't it? Well, let me introduce a little bit. So in Vietnam, most people eat on the mat, and most people eat with this little tray here. And this tray normally serves the whole family. And for Vietnamese tradition, normally we have at least 3 dishes. A vegetable dish, a meat dish, a soup dish. Yes. At least 3 dishes. Rice is not included, and then we have condiments. So this is a condiment. It's salted vegetables. And then we have our dipping sauce. So over here, you know, we have the soup. This is made from mud crabs.
Yes.
Yeah, mud crab soup. And then with Vietnamese spinach. And then we have our long beans. This you're probably familiar with. This is our boiled pork and our fried fish. So this is actually quite an exuberant dinner because we have 2 meats. Normally it's just 1 meat. Yeah.
Perhaps I'd better try something.
All right.
Like that.
So how it works in Vietnamese culture is that, you know, the host of the house will always serve the guests. So the guests don't serve themselves.
I see.
And the host will always give them food. And then when their plates are finished, we will top up the food.
Yes.
So, and this is your chopstick if you need it, and you can just drink the soup from the bowl. And then the chopstick is for your vegetables. I think
this might be tricky, drinking soup with chopsticks. Can manage to pick things up.
Yeah, in Vietnam we just drink it with the bowl, so we just sip it as if it's a cup.
That's very nice, thank you.
All right. Would you like to try another one? Something else, or is that good?
What sort of fish is this?
This is a river fish.
Yes.
But so this one has both the roe and the meat. Let's see what that tastes like for you.
Thank you.
Careful, there might be some bones there, but I don't think there is any, but just in case. I hope there's no bones in there. I hope I've picked up the bones.
No, that was lovely, thank you.
All right. Yeah, so that's the fish, and then the rest. So in Vietnam, this is something that's quite interesting as well.
Yes.
And it's quite adventurous.
They look a little bit like chestnuts.
They are not chestnuts. They are in the same family as the eggplant. But they are round and they are green and they've been salted. Ah. Yeah, it's quite an acquired taste. So I don't know if you want to try, but I think it's very Vietnamese. A lot of Vietnamese people eat this.
I'll try.
All right. I like your. Okay, that's your chopsticks.
Thank you.
Yep. You're gonna bite into something quite pungent and quite strong.
Right.
And quite salty and soury. Does it taste like the pickle? Yeah, it's an acquired taste, isn't it?
Very salty and not exactly sour, but
it's quite pungent. It's like a burst of flavor all at once. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite? What's your least favorite, and what's your favorite?
I think the mud crab was my favourite out of those, and next the fish, and least
is this one. Yeah, you know, you're so adventurous, and I love that about you. I think, you know, you're always willing to try new things.
Try something once.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, is there an advice that you might want to tell, you know, younger people who are, you know, right now a lot of people have a lot of fears. You know, they're fearful of doing something risky. They are fearful of going out of something comfortable. You know, they're fearful of, you know, other people's judgments. What do you say to, you know, the young people nowadays?
I would say to them, be self-assured. Believe in yourself, believe that you can do things, and get on and do them.
Get on and do them, right? And always continue to learn. Never
Yes.
stop learning. Never stop trying.
That's right.
Yeah.
Persevere. If something is difficult, persevere, and you'll get there in the end.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. Thank you. And talking about trying something new, we have this game that we always do on the show. It's called the Ielts Marathon.
Yes.
And you're not going to run a marathon, but you're going to be participating in some of the challenges put forth by the show.
Yes.
And it's going to be an experience that a lot of the non-native English speakers have to go through to get their English certification. English certification. So would you like to try it?
Yes, why not?
All right, let's try it then.
Okay.
You're back with us. This is the Ielts Marathon, and you've seen many, many marathons before, but this is going to be very interesting. We have Margot right here with us, and she's going to help us complete this Ielts Marathon. All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, for the first challenge, we're going to have to work in a team.
Yes.
And I'm going to have to guess several items that you put forth, and these are the items that you think are very important in a person's creativity, and it's very important to help the person, you know, always try and strive to learn new things. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to close my eyes now, and I'm going to basically listen to whatever description you give me.
Okay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, I'm closing my eyes.
You want to stay quite healthy while you're studying, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes in between meals, you might need a tasty snack.
I think this is a banana.
You're right.
It
Banana.
is definitely a very tasty
Banana.
snack. Do you like bananas, Margot?
I love bananas, yes.
Me too. Me too. I think they are a great source of potassium, great source of dietary fiber, and it's really good for people who work out nowadays.
Yes. You can sometimes get a little bit out of shape.
Yes.
You're not doing enough exercise.
Oh, yes.
Can you think of something you could have in your study room to help you?
Oh, this would probably be a fat buster, a massage chair.
Yes, and an item that helps you to move is also important.
Ooh, I hear a little bit of a clanking kind of sound there. I think it looks like a spinning platform, maybe?
Yes. Right, with near enough.
That's what it is. Okay, thank you. It's really great. And you know, it was so soothing to listen to your voice. It feels like I'm listening to a movie. It's great. Thank you. Yay. And you're going to go on to the next challenge, which is the picture-taking challenge.
Yes.
Why don't you step on over and take your picture? And this is actually one of the things that all the contestants will need to go through when they do their IELTS exam. Okay, I hear the beep. Will we have the perfect picture?
Get level with the camera.
You shouldn't lean on the platform. You should just let's see. Let's see if that picture.
I've got my head in.
You want to see your picture? I think it's a beautiful picture.
Oh, there it is.
You got it. We got the picture.
Good.
All right. So let's listen to the first challenge, the headphone challenge.
You will hear a tour guide welcoming a group of visitors to the British Library and telling them about the library and what they will see there.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your very own tour of the British Library on this lovely afternoon. My name is Tony Walters, and I'm your guide for today. Well, here we are, standing at the meeting point on the lower ground floor, just to the right of the main entrance. I've given you all a plan of the building so that we can orientate ourselves and get an idea of where we'll be going. Now, outside the main entrance, you'll see the wide piazza with the stunning sculpture of Newton. The sculptor was Paolozzi, but it's based on the famous image by William Blake, and it's definitely worth a closer look. On the other side of the piazza from the statue is the conference centre, which is used for all kinds of international conventions. we'll take a quick look inside at the end of our tour. Looking ahead of us now, you'll see that we're standing opposite the staircase down to the basement, where you'll find the cloakroom. And to the left of that, we have the information desk, where you can find out about any current exhibitions, the times of the tours, and anything you need to know if you don't have a tour guide. As you can see, on this lower ground floor, we also have a bookshop. That's the area over to the left of the main entrance. You'll be free to browse there when we get back to the ground floor.
I found a bookshop.
So the bookshop, B is 3. That's absolutely correct. You're on to the next section. And now you need to pick 3 underlined words and give 3 synonyms for those words.
Portrays we can have instead of gives.
Portrays.
Use on petrol.
Use on,
Yes.
on petrol.
Widely believed.
Widely believed.
Yes.
That's correct. And you're on to the final challenge on this TB monitor, and you have to read the following paragraph and get 1 sentence fully recognized by the robot. Let's start.
Jack and Jane embark on a quest to find the elusive fountain of youth, only to discover that the captain and his daughter are after it too. The captain travels to London to locate the person who has been impersonating him. The imposter has reportedly been recruiting a crew to search for the legendary fountain of youth. He and other teammates plot to steal the chalices from the nearby Spanish camp.
You're off to the next challenge. You completed that challenge. You can take off the headphones right now. You can put it back. And let's head on over here. Wow, it's great. You know, you completed everything so well, but that's expected because, you know, you've been teaching for such a long time, and you know, you also taught English for a really long time in the UK. Yeah, so it's so great to see. It's so beautiful to see you do that test right there. All right, so we're going to embark on a final challenge. It's called the Sneak of Shame challenge, and we're going to have 6 letters that are scrambled up, and you got to find those letters in your path towards me. You're going to stand at one end, I'm going to stand at the other end, and we're going to play a game of statues.
Yes.
Yeah, and on the count of 3 I'm going to turn around and you have to freeze in whatever position you're in, okay? Until you pick up all the letters and convince me to give you the last letter, because I have access to the last letter. Okay, and then we're going to try to unscramble the words together.
Okay.
All right, all right, let's go on to the next game, shall we?
Yes, let's.
Okay, Sneak of Shame coming up next. All right, this is the Sneak of Shame with Margot. Are you ready, Margot?
I'm ready.
All right, let's start. Set, go. 1, 2, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4, 3. Only 1 letter left. 3. Wow, you got all the letters. Let's see how long it takes you to reach to the H. Not 1, 2, 3. 3. Oh, you're so close. 3. Oh, okay, you got me. All right, Margot, what letters do you have?
Let's see what we have. We have an R.
Okay.
And an I.
And an I.
A T.
T. Ooh, that's a rit.
A P.
That's a P. That's a rit P.
And an S.
That's a rit P S. Remember, I still have the last letter, but you have to convince me to give it to you.
Let's see what we could make with that.
Yep. St.
We could have a strip. If your letter was an E, we could have a stripe.
If my letter was
I don't think that would help very much.
My letter is actually not an E. It's a It's an I.
It's an I.
Yeah, it's an I.
Ah.
That's a very intelligent
So now,
way
where
to
can
convince me to give you the letter.
Where can we put the I?
I wonder.
Pure. Ah, what about Spirits.
Ooh, it looks like spirit. Yes, it does look like spirit. There we go. We have spirit. You know, that's actually one of our fastest, scrambling sessions ever. Yeah, on the show. So thank you. Yes, we have spirit.
Good.
So, to sum up today's session, and to speak to all the viewers watching our show who are very young, who are very passionate, who have a lot of inspiration, what do you wish to tell them when it comes to living or thinking out of the box?
Don't give up. If one thing seems too difficult, find another way to approach it. Always look for other examples of ways to do things and strive for the highest place.
It's been quite a pleasure meeting you and seeing your positive energy, seeing your love for learning, and to see that kind of happiness and optimism that's in you. I think it's really, really inspirational. Yeah, and I hope that when I'm 70 years young, I will be able to have the same energy as you are.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so thanks so much, Margot. But of course, before we actually end your section, we actually have a present to give you.
Oh, that's very nice.
May we have the present, please? All right, so this is basically something that we have for you. First of all, we have a tam Ielts.
Oh, that's great.
Pin for you to wear.
Lovely. I should put it on straight away.
Yes, we would love to see you put it on. And then for the next gift, we have a calendar.
A calendar?
A 2016 calendar for you to display in your study.
Yes.
It is the BTB7 calendar.
Good.
To remind you, we are a learning channel.
Yes.
And to remind you that we are also on the quest to learn and to also encourage people to learn.
Good.
And of course, the last thing, guess what's inside this box?
Note paper.
Note paper. It might be. Here, you can put the calendar in here so that it's easy to carry. But this is, it's very pretty.
Yes.
And it's actually the Vietnamese traditional dress.
Oh, wonderful.
That we would love for you to try.
Yes, I'd love to try that
So
on.
this is the color brown. It is one of our favorite colors, and then the pant is white. Yes. You can try the pants at home.
Yes.
But let's try the outside here right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, I hope that this fits. So the outside is basically the Vietnamese traditional dress. It has high collar, and the older you are, the higher the collar goes.
Yes.
So this one is a low collar, so it means you're quite young still, and it's quite a modern version of the outside to keep you cool.
Yes.
And the outside is normally made of silk or satin.
Yes.
And it's often designed with flowers or whatever kind of designs. And let's see how it looks on you.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, it's the perfect length.
Wonderful.
Wonderful. I hope you get to wear this in the UK when you're back home.
I will, yes.
And remember Vietnam and come back.
Indeed.
All right, and remember tam Ielts, the show that you're on. So I'm going to put this back into your bag for you. All right, so it's been such a pleasure, and thank you for being on the show with us.
It was my pleasure.
And next up, we have the Idioms of the Week section. So, Margot, what is an idiom that comes to mind?
What about look before you leap?
Look before you leap, and that is to indicate to always consider your decisions before you make them, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, don't make decisions in a hurry.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks so much, Margot, for being on the show. And we have more idioms coming up in the next section. So stay tuned and watch and learn and think out of the box.
Idiom of this week. Bird in the hand, a word two in the bush. It is better to have an advantage or opportunity that is certain than having one that is worth more but is not so certain. Next on tam Ielts, save on the best things for last. The last part of tam Ielts promisingly brings you much surprise and excitement. Star Ielts of this episode, no other than our beautiful host Phoebe Trần will be the first time ever confront with the examiner in the real-time Ielts speaking test. What will happen at this special session? We save it for you. Right up next.
Hey, welcome back to the studio, and we have Dan Ruel back with us. And throughout the episodes, you've heard him speak a lot about Ielts tips, writing tips. You've heard him speak about his comments on, Ielts speaking delivery. And today, I think Dan's going to talk more about his personal belief in thinking out of the box. Yeah. So let's talk to him a little bit about that, okay? Yeah. So we've never really had a chance to speak about yourself a lot of the time. So how do you think out of the box, and what are some of the examples where you've thought of out of the box?
Well, I'm very lucky because my career as a teacher actually requires you to think out of the box every single day. Because if you just do the same old lesson every single time, you'll probably get a lot of complaints from your students saying it's boring and we need to be more engaged, etc. So I'm very lucky in that it forces me to think outside the box for almost every day of my life, I think.
And how is your box defined? Is it defined based on your culture? Is it defined based on, I don't know, like the location where you live? How?
I think a lot of it's cultural, because basically the box is what's considered normal, the norm. So first of all, I think, thinking outside the box might mean not exactly following the rules of your culture, but maybe just stepping outside the boundaries and doing something that culturally might not be very normal. So I think first is cultural, but second, it's also a personal thing. It's comfort. So it's very easy to live your life just doing the same thing every day, but if you take a risk, then that's stepping outside of your comfort zone. So a lot of it's also being brave and strong and trying something that you wouldn't normally try. Yeah,
absolutely. So we have, normally we would do the Stars Do Ielts section, but this time we have a lot of requests for me to take part in that section. So I'm going to be sitting in for a speaking test.
I've been waiting for this moment for about 20 episodes, and finally it's coming true.
Okay, please be kind to me, Mr. Ruel.
I'll be as strict as possible, I think.
Okay, I think our examination room is that way.
Okay.
So let's move on to the examination room. Okay, I'm about to enter the Ielts speaking exam. And always remember, you're not allowed to bring anything into the room apart from your ID only. So I'm bringing an ID into the examination room, and outside the examination room, you'll get to see who your examiner is. So from today, I think I know the name of my examiner. He's called Dan Ruel, so I'll make sure to greet him. Hello.
Come in, please. Have a seat, please.
Hi, Mr. Dan Ruel.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, are you ready to begin?
I am not really ready, but I shall begin.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's begin. So could you tell me your full name, please?
Oh, my full name is Trần from Phoebe.
Thanks. And what should I call you?
You can call me Phoebe.
Phoebe, sure.
Yeah.
Phoebe, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about friends. Are your friends mostly your age or different ages?
My friends are mostly older than me. I have friends who are 50 years old, 45 years old, friends in their 50s and 40s and 30s and 20s, and teenagers. I have them all. They're all my friends. And even toddlers are my friends too.
I see.
Yes.
The last time you saw your friends, what did you do together?
Oh, we partied. We really partied all the way, till the dusk of dawn, and it's like a 48-hour party session.
Wow.
Am I allowed to say that?
I think so. Yeah.
Do you like to party, Dan?
Can't answer that one. In what ways are friends important to you?
Friends are as important as you in this examination. Yeah, they're very necessary because, number one, they ask me the right questions, and it's different in the sense that they will also answer my questions. And I think basically friends are the pillar of support. They keep me in line. They keep me grounded, and I think they also entertain me. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to give you a topic, and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes.
Yes.
Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say.
Yes. Can I ask to change the topic?
Unfortunately, no. And you can make some notes if you wish.
Yes, sir.
Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here is your topic, and here's a pencil for making notes.
Oh, thank you. I love this pencil. Where does it come from?
From Ielts.
Okay, thank you. Oh, yeah,
Ielts
right.
Forest.
I'm not allowed to ask you a question.
Yes. So I'd like you to talk about a difficult choice that you had to make and realize later it was the right decision.
Okay.
I have 1 minute, right?
That's right.
Can you tell me, can you
Sure.
be my timekeeper?
Sure.
Okay, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 15 seconds.
Go.
Thank you.
All right, Phoebe, remember you have 1 to 2 minutes for this, so don't worry if I stop you. I'll tell
Okay.
you when the time is up.
Yeah.
Can you start speaking now, please?
Okay, so this happened 7 years ago when I was still a college student, and it happened in my a cappella group. So I was the founder of an a cappella group in college, and at first when we started out, our sole objective was to get people, and that's why initially we had over 20 people in the a cappella group, and we came to a point in time where we had to make, you know, a critical decision, whether to remain as a 20-something person group or cut people down to about 5 people. And because I was the founder of the group, you know, I had to really make a sound judgment of whether that is a plausible thing to even talk about. And eventually we decided to cut the group down. And then, you know, another problem arose because now we're faced with the situation how to make the people happy for the ones that are no longer in the group. We went through a lot of discussions. We did a lot of interviews. We did a lot of, you know, prep talks. We did a lot of one-on-ones and heart-to-hearts. And eventually we managed to bring the group down to 10 people. And one of the solutions that we did was that we enabled basically the group that was no longer the group anymore to basically create their own group. So they were able to go off to find either greener pastures or create their own group. And the reason why I thought this was the right decision was because, number one, there are 2 reasons. Number one, our music was a lot better. So our music was a lot more together afterwards. And number 2, this was the right decision because eventually we still remained friends and we were able to protect the friendship. So that was my experience of a difficult decision I had to make.
Thank you. Do you often have to make difficult decisions?
I do. I often have to make a lot of difficult decisions at work. You know, the industry that I'm in has a lot of stressful moments. You know, things are unplanned, and we have to be very, very flexible to deal with everything that are spontaneous.
I see.
And so, yes, I do have to make a lot of difficult decisions.
I see. Thank you. Could I have the pencil and paper back,
Oh,
please?
thank you. Here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been talking about a difficult choice that you had to make, and I'd like to discuss with you 1 or 2 more general questions related to that. Let's consider, first of all, some people think that some people are born decision makers. They have a natural ability to make decisions effectively. Do you think so?
I do not believe that. I do not believe that habits are innate. I do believe in certain things that are innate. So, for example, the body clock, you know, the natural cycle, when people wake up, when people go to sleep, personalities are quite innate. But I do believe that habits are bred, not born. And I think, you know, decision making or leadership is a skill that can be developed, and it should be developed. Yeah.
Nowadays, do you think people get enough advice before they make decisions compared to in the past?
When it comes to advice, I feel like, you know, nowadays it's really different from the past. You know, in the past, children and students make decisions based on, you know, their teachers, their mentors, their parents' advice. Nowadays, people are a lot more independent. They want to have their own say in their own decisions. And I think nowadays people take a lot more responsibility and a lot more, I guess, they have a lot more say in their lives. So
how about in families? Do you think children should be part of the decision-making process in a family, or should that be left to the parents?
Oh, I absolutely believe that children should be part of the decision-making process because the family is a collective whole. And the growth of the family also includes the growth of the children and also the growth of the parents. And I've read a lot of research that says, you know, the earlier the parents let the children into the decision-making process, the more the children's going to be independent and the healthier the growth, as well as the better bonding between the parent and the child. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Phoebe, thank you very much. That's the end of the speaking test.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Ruel.
Hope that wasn't too nerve-wracking.
No, it was. Yeah, and you were very, very accommodating. But yeah, just the test scene, and then, you know, the limited time frame, it's quite nerve-wracking. But yeah, so let's go back to our talk chair,
Okay.
and then we're going to talk a little bit about all of this. Yeah.
All right, Dan, what do you think of my performance?
Oh, this is a loaded question. Well, I have to say, and this is my honest opinion, is I think you've exceeded the expectations of Tham Ielts. I think you are Chin Ielts. We might need to change the name of the show now.
Oh, thank you.
I think you did a really good job, and I think you felt a bit nervous. Is that right?
Yeah, I was.
Could tell a little bit. Yeah.
I was very nervous, and when I get nervous, I will just speak without stopping. And I'm, you know, a lot of people tell me that when I'm nervous, I speak too fast. I don't stop, and I don't organize my thought as if I was, you know, very comfortable. But I was nervous, despite the fact that I knew you. I was nervous because, you know, when you put yourself in a situation where you think you have to perform, then it's quite scary.
Exactly, especially with the whole country watching you as well. It makes you feel a bit. In the real Ielts test, you don't need to worry about that sensation of being on TV and being watched. It's just one-to-one.
Yeah, so you imagine what all the celebrities had gone through to put themselves in the hot seat.
Yeah.
So what's one celebrity that kind of, you know, put the most impression on you, that gave you the biggest impression, memorable impression?
I've had good impressions, but for many different reasons. So I think going back to one of the earlier episodes, I remember Eng Zui. He was really impressive, and I remember him talking about I think a time when he was an MC, did a competition and won an MC competition. But I really remember Eng Zui's really good English language, and I remember Japan. I remember her really good pronunciation. I was impressed by her. I remember Ding Ning. I really liked his confidence and his fluency. And I remember, let me think, Phương Mai. I think she was outstanding. Really strong. Almost as strong as Phoebe, I think.
Not at all, not at all. Because this is the last episode, we have prepared a couple of montages for your enjoyment.
Ooh, I can't wait.
Yes, and the first montage, it's the Stars Do Ielts montage. Let's have a look, shall we? All right, guys. Here is a collection of behind the scenes for the Stars Do Ielts. So all the scenes that you did not see in the previous episodes, you'll get to see right now.
I want to feel better and then can do the test 5 later. And want to have a good... Okay, sure.
Chết rồi, do cái đoạn này em bị run từ này. I want to just feel that I'm...
No, that was pretty good.
Wait, sometimes my mind just get blank. Là em just... Như thế nào? Không biết thấy Tây hơn à?
Improve. Từ từ em phải chuẩn bị đã cho anh. Từ từ Chết rồi, không biết rồi. Tại sao khó? Không biết đâu, tại sao khó? Cậu.
I'm just a little bit caught in the middle life. Làm lại. Cái gì bây giờ nhỉ? Tự nhiên đùng một cái đến đấy chứ. Giddy up, jingle horse, pick up your feet. Or what?
Wow, what a treat.
It's funny, you know, when they're doing their interview, they're very serious and very nervous, but behind the scenes, they're
behind the scenes,
normal people.
Normal people. What do you think of Lam Phung's Jingle Bell song?
It's making me ready for Christmas.
Absolutely.
I'm getting in the festive spirit now.
And Christmas is just a couple of months away.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, the fun doesn't end here, because we have another group of fun waiting.
Oh.
Yeah. It's the montage of all the Voice of the Week. But before we go to the Voice of the Week, let's summarize a little bit about, you know, the writing tips and speaking tips. Sure. Because this is the end, because this is the last episode, if you were to summarize, you know, some advice to give to contestants when they do the speaking test, what will it be?
I think my number one advice is, you know, we heard lots of celebrities after their tests say, I felt so nervous, and although this was my second try, I still felt nervous. So I think the number one tip I have is trying to overcome your nervousness. Because if you're nervous, you're not going to perform your best. So doing whatever it takes for candidates to try and reduce their nervousness, particularly in part 2. So getting used to the feeling of speaking by yourself for 2 minutes. I think that's probably the most important thing to do, is don't just read books about speaking and look on the internet about sample speaking answers, but just really practice. Get used to the feeling of speaking by yourself in English. That's probably my number one tip.
And what's your number one tip for the writing test?
Number one tip for writing is understand how you're marked, because if you can tick the boxes, the things that Ielts is looking for, you can get quite a good score. Even if your language is a bit weaker, you can still get a good score in the first 2 categories. So really make the effort to understand how the examiners mark you in task 1 writing and task 2 writing. Because the more you know, the better you'll do, I think.
Right. All right, so thanks so much, Dan. And of course, to end the last episode with a bang, I would like to show you the montage of all the Voice of the Week.
I like it.
Yes, and we get 15 to 30 Voice of the Weeks every week. And there's never enough room to showcase all these amazing people that sent us their personal videos. So let's have a look at the Voice of the Week montage.
Today I'm going to tell you about
cooking, which is skill I'm trying to improve it.
She didn't pass it, unfortunately, and she was so worried and disappointed, and she was about to cry when she talked to me. She said,
staying up to midnight in the 5 degrees C cold.
As many young Vietnamese people,
I dream to become a Superman.
Be a hero in your own way. And now will you excuse me? I gotta do my job and save the world.
Goodbye. And hand.
The last one just looks like our Ielts god.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my gosh. Amazing stuff. Yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, there's so many videos that it's really hard to choose just one. And I think that's a good example of some of the creative ones that unfortunately we couldn't air. But
absolutely. If you were to do your own Voice of the Week video, how will you do it?
Ooh, I think looking at all of the successful ones that we've selected, I think the most important thing is being creativity. So I think if you just record yourself describing something, you might get it. But I think if you really want to be Voice of the Week, you have to do something outside the box, and like the guy at the end who wore his costume, and just doing something which is different from others. And if it were me, I'd probably I'd go somewhere special to record it. If I was on holiday somewhere, I'd do my Voice of the Week there.
Nice.
And, be a little bit different.
Nice. What if you're on the Ielts studio stage?
Ooh, if I were on the stage, I'd do maybe a dance routine or something like that. I'd speak English and dance at the same time.
Now, you just gave me a wonderful idea, Dan.
I shouldn't have said that.
Okay, but I'm not going to put you on the spot. But maybe for season 2.
Season 2, yeah.
Season 2. All right. Thanks so much, everybody, for sending in your Voice of the Week. We enjoyed watching them very much. And of course, we cannot feature everybody, but everybody, you are on our YouTube page. So if you go there, you can see what your performance is, you can see other people's videos, and I think watching other people is probably one of the best ways to learn, because it gives you the sense of, community, and the sense that, everybody is on the same path that you are heading to. And I think, for us to get to our goals, it's really important for us to walk with the people that is on the same path.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thanks so much, Dan, for joining us for this whole season. Last sentence to say to our audience before season 1 ends. What will it be? What's your sentence, or what is your message to them?
Say good luck. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate supporting Ielts, and hopefully see you in season 2.
All right. I like the eyebrows. Season 2. It's like a wink. Can you try the wink? Season 2. But anyways, thanks so much, Dan. I'm not going to put you on the spot.
It's been a real blast.
All right, thank you, and see you again soon. Guys, thank you for joining us, and see you again in Season 2.